A lot of people, including director Bong Joon-ho, have called Snowpiercer an allegory for capitalism and what it does to people. There have been a lot of articles written supporting this idea, but I'd like to take a different stance on the message of the movie. Let's take the world of Snowpiercer at face value. After an apocalyptic event that completely freezes the Earth, everyone still living is on a train that is led by the mysterious Wilford, who guides them all from the front. Each person on the train is placed into a section depending on the type of ticket they had, or whether they had a ticket at all.
All things in their place. All passengers in their section.
Those in the front of the train live extravagant and narcissistic lives, while those in the middle live comfortably, and those in the tail section live in extreme poverty, barely surviving. These different levels or classes of people are all subject to Wilford. Many have said that the people at the back of the train represent the 99%, with the all-powerful Wilford at the front representing the 1%. But looking at how capitalism works today, I'm not sure this explanation fits the story. At first glance, this type of system resembles a type of feudalism much more than capitalism. Feudalism was the main social system back in the Middle Ages, where authority started with the lord and then went downwards to each class of his subjects. Each class was subject to the class above it, and each had authority on the class under it, but were all ultimately controlled by the lord. This system seems to align with the world of Snowpiercer much more than capitalism does. Capitalism relies on the freedom of people. For capitalism to move forward, there must be individual economic mobility. We see this mobility in modern capitalist nations today. Sure, it can be difficult to move upwards, but it's always possible. It is for this very reason that many capitalistic nations see large amounts of immigrants coming in, because these people believe that they can make a better life for themselves and their families under this system. It would be ignorant to say that classes do not exist in capitalist society. They definitely do, but it's the ability to move upwards and change your class that separates capitalism from other economic and political systems. However, in nations where we see the power fall into the hands of only one man, classes are created and forced upon the people of that nation without any economic mobility. No one, not in the back, middle, or front, gets any say or has ever gotten any say in what Wilford does. He is supreme over everything that goes on in the train. There is no obvious system of currency, no remnant of individual rights, no economic mobility, and no way to influence those at the top. These ideas seem to align much more with totalitarianism rather than capitalism. Wilford fits the bill of totalitarian dictator well, violently enforcing that the people of each class stay locked in that class, while also indoctrinating his people with ideas of his personal divinity.
Wilford is merciful!
This method of using violence, fear, envy, and superstition to keep subjects in check has been used by multiple dictators over the course of human history. Wilford's total control is even more obvious when Curtis and his followers fight the faceless men in the middle of the train. These men have been completely indoctrinated by Wilford through propaganda and a comfortable lifestyle. These men begin as the children in the schoolroom. Notice that these are the only two groups of people in the entire movie who wear masks. The children are comfortable and malleable, easily indoctrinated into believing anything that is told to them by their teacher. This is how Wilford is able to build his human weapons and keep the tail section in check. What makes Wilford more interesting than a regular dictator is that he rules a completely closed system.
We must always strive for balance. Air, water, food supply, the population must always be kept in balance.
Every item in the train must be carefully regulated so as to not upset the balance of the train's ecosystem. Wilford uses carefully planned mass murders to do what he believes is necessary to the continued existence of the train. And this is why Wilford secretly starts Curtis's revolution. This revolution has two purposes. First, to continue to feed the tension and anxiety between the three classes of people, and second, to control the population by killing off people from both upper and lower classes.
Precisely 74% of you shall die.
As we near the end of the film, we understand that Curtis is not really the protagonist of the movie. He is nothing more than a piece in the continued cycle of the train. When Gilliam asks Curtis what he will do after reaching the front of the train, his only reply is,
"We kill him."
But this doesn't really answer Gilliam's question. Killing Wilford and taking control only continues this oppressive system. Curtis is an important piece of the allegory, but the real focus is on Namgung and his daughter Yona. Namgung represents the generation that wanted freedom but could never have it. This is shown by his constant obsession with what is happening outside the train, outside the totalitarian system that enslaves him. Instead, he prepares and sacrifices for Yona, who symbolizes the generation that is able to escape the society into freedom. Yona is just as malleable as the children in the schoolroom, the only disparity is that she has a different teacher. Her father continues to show her the world outside the train while also trying to protect her from the horrors that exist within. When Yona and Timmy exit the destroyed train, there is a feeling of satisfaction at this supposed happy ending. But the story isn't really over here. We see the polar bear, which is not actually a pleasant image of newfound life, but an image of how hard it is to create and sustain a free world. Yona and Timmy have not been free for a full 5 minutes, and they already have a major life-threatening problem. Namgung valued freedom over survival and taught this idea to Yona. Sure, humanity might survive in the train, but it will only be existence, not life. And he believed it is better to destroy the system and die than continue it. And I believe that is what this movie is really saying, that freedom is worth sacrificing for, and that complacency and living comfortably can blind our eyes from the horrors of what is really going on. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments below. And whatever your opinion of the film's message, I believe that it definitely succeeded in differentiating itself from the regular sludge of Hollywood action blockbusters. And that's what I love most about it. As Bong Joon-ho said, ultimately, this is a sci-fi action film on a train, and that's what I wanted. But I wanted to create action that was unique and different from what you see in standard Hollywood fare. And that's what I love most about this film. Thanks for watching.